Wow.
It is, as I say, a chamber of horror. We've got some really, there's an elephant foot over there, some really horrific stuff.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about the ivory, because, of course, ivory isn't just elephant tusks, it's any teeth and tusks.
That's right.
Obviously, the reason the customs officers seize this stuff is because there are already restrictions on the international trade, and I think it's about 35,000 species. The new ban will apply to trade within the UK. So tell us about what new species are going to be included.
Well, so what we've got here are, I think, all the species that are now going to be included. We have hippo. That's a hippo tooth there. We have that is from a bull or a male sperm whale. That's one of its teeth, believe it or not,
wow,
which is absolutely
formidable,
gigantic,
isn't it?
as are those there. And the artwork on these is known as scrimshaw, those carvings. So that is an animal record breaker. It's one of the deepest diving of all animals, the thickest skin of all animals, the biggest brain of all animals, a really intelligent, social, communicating animal. And, you know, to see the artifact...
kind of trinket, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's true of all the things we see around us here. I mean, there are so few elephants left in the wild with tusks of that sort of size now. And in fact, there is evidence that elephants are evolving to have much smaller or even no tusks at all because of the pressure of poaching.
So the new animals, we've got hippos. I think one of the biggest threats to hippos now is poaching for ivory, for its teeth and tusks.
Absolutely.
What is this? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, not at all. Well, that is going to be walrus. So that walrus, along with this one here, this is narwhal.
This is extraordinary,
which is
isn't it?
Absolutely spectacular, often known as the unicorn of the sea for very obvious reasons. When you see this utterly beautiful tusk. So both the walrus and the narwhal are Arctic animals. And they are under increasing pressure because of climate change, particularly actually narwhal, because they will hide in amongst ice floes, which are now breaking up far faster, and therefore leaving them exposed both to human hunting and also to hunting from their biggest predator, which is the orca. So these animals are already under huge pressure. Anything that can be done to ease pressure on their populations for poaching for their body parts is incredibly valuable.
And of course, I mean, this represents an individual animal, doesn't it? What is the tusk for? What is it used for? What does the animal
That's a great question. So with elephant tusks, they use them for digging and for fighting. The narwhal tusk is really intriguing because it's filled with nerve endings. It's incredibly sensitive, and while the males may do a little bit of jousting with it, it's thought that it's probably more likely used to sense temperature changes and perhaps to sense salinity in the water. So they use it to find their way in amongst these ever-shifting pack ice environments where they live. So it's kind of a sensory tool, very, very delicate, very able to sense the environment around it.
Now, just before we go, I mean, all of these items are horrific. That, by the way, we estimate, the customs officer here estimate would be worth £10,000. Is there anything that really strikes you as particularly horrific here?
Yeah, those. So those.
Well, not
very
ugly.
Yeah, very ugly. But that's ivory. That's an elephant ivory tusk. But those are from a baby elephant. So that animal, which may be small, vulnerable, incredibly beautiful, has been poached and hunted for its ivory as a baby. Which, of course, is why this ban is being introduced, to restrict the sale of this stuff and hopefully reduce the poaching of the animals that we've seen here. So a new ban being introduced on these species that contain this ivory.